Hi, everyone. This is Daniel from Sunny Roots, here to give you a special message. Reason I'm vlogging today is simply the fact that we've all been dealing with a lot of stress, anxiety, fear, doubt, you name it, about this whole COVID virus that's been around for the last almost 2 years now. And it seems like it's only gotten worse. It seems like the planet is just getting crazier. It seems like the regulations are getting just beyond beyond logic, and it's driving a lot of people sick in many ways. The level of anxiety going around is horrible. The lack of empathy is going around. It honestly feels a little bit like we're back into, the days of World War II and so on, where people were being discriminated against, regulations were being made, on right at the moment, on the spot, without really anybody being able to vote or discuss it. And I myself have really felt it heavily. It's been very difficult for me to deal with all of this, because I'm somebody who has a lot of empathy for others. And I also feel that a lot of the regulations that are being imposed by the governments, it's just not logical to me. They don't make sense. They seem to be the wrong approach entirely. Um, you know, just to be clear, I'm not anti-vaccinations. That's I think everybody's own free right to choose what they want to do. Um, I am, however, against governments getting overpowered and being able to tell you what you should be injecting into your body or into the bodies of your perfectly healthy children with higher risks of after effects than on any other vaccine on the planet, and on kids that have an immune system. So, without going into all of the details about those discussions, which I'm sure you've heard a million of, what I wanted to say was the following. Look, I think more than ever, it's important that everybody doesn't just follow the rules of the government like a sheep, but really thinks about it in a logical sense. Does this really make sense? And what can I do despite these rules to try to boost my energies, raise my vibration, bring my immune system up as best as possible? And contrary to what the governments are saying, rather than, let's say, isolating yourself in your room, staying stuck indoors, I think it's very important that you go outdoors, you spend time in nature as much as you possibly can, breathing fresh air, touching stuff, touching plants, touching, you know, nature, right? Not being afraid to touch things without alcohol spray all over your hands, right? Because your immune system needs to have contact with bacteria and other forms of viruses to keep itself active and activated. So it's important that you get out there, breathe fresh air, see the sun. If you have the luxury of having sun, which at the moment here where I am in Switzerland, it's very difficult. It's just fog. But yes, I mean, really get outdoors, a walk. I know the weather can be really horrible in the winter, or maybe it's really hot if you're in the south, and our it's very very hot temperatures on that end of the equator. But get outdoors, okay? Drink plenty of water, sleep properly. I mean, take your full 8 hours of sleep, and if you have a tough time sleeping because of stress or whatever it is, take an extra hour. Do what is necessary to get your rest so your body can recover. Okay, but Don't stay lingering in bed all day because that's also not good. Then, contrary to what they say, go and be with loved ones. I mean, seriously, you know, go and be with loved ones. The people you really love, your family, your kids, you know, your best friends. Spend time with these people. I mean, it's important to have interaction. A lot of us are locked up at home, doing home office. We're not in the office anymore, seeing, you know, your colleagues every day. Many of us who haven't been vaccinated can't go to bars, can't go to any event, can't go anywhere without having to take some sort of test and then have to pay for the test. So you don't do that. So you stay indoors even more. You get more isolated. Nobody's allowed to shake hands and touch each other and hug each other. I mean, this kind of behavior is just not natural, right? And it doesn't lead to a raise in your vibrations. So take the time, you know, with the people you feel safe with, to be with them, spend time socializing, playing card games, whatever it is, you know, that just, you know, having dinners. It doesn't have to be in huge, massive groups. I'm talking about just a few good people that you can be with, okay? So don't just stay stuck at home. Take your vitamins, especially in the winter if you're in a dark place. You know, make sure you get, you know, your D's, your K's, all your B complexes. They're very important, right? If you're a vegan, like I am, then you should also take your B12s, take your omega-3 oils. You know, these are important things, especially when there's no sunshine. You need to have your vitamin D's. So take those with K, vitamin K, because I think that helps actually absorb the vitamin D into your body more than not. Then do sports, man. Really. I mean, you got to get out there. You can do it at home too. You know, simple rubber bands, you know, whatever it is, jumping jacks, you know, some kind of activity that brings your heartbeat up, that makes you breathe. You know, some cardiovascular activity I think is important because we're not moving around. We're not going anywhere. You know, we're not doing anything. If you can do it outside, do it outside. Go for a jog or go for a fast walk. You know, if you have like achy joints, things like this, and jogging is not for you, then go for a walk. Go for a nice long walk. Try to make it, you know, try to reach that 10,000 steps a day if you can. If you're stuck indoors, I mean, I myself, I'm standing right now on a treadmill in front of my desk. So I'm not walking on it right now because I'm making the video, but if I was on the computer working, or let's say I was even gaming, for example, you know, I'd be doing that on the treadmill. And then if I had a video conference call, obviously I'd switch it off because it makes noise. But it's just the idea of constantly being in motion and moving around, you know, spending time with loved ones, spending time with your cats and dogs and this kind of thing as well. Very important. Kids, you know, and not being so afraid. And, you know, I think it's important. I think a lot of trust in your own ability, in your own immune system has been lost. And everything that the government has said, stay indoors, don't be with people, you know, put alcohol on your hands everywhere you go, is just going to lower your immune system. And you're not going to then, over an extended period of time, several years like it's been now, your immune system can't cope anymore with anything, you know, whether it's a very mild flu or something more serious, because it hasn't had to cope with anything, you know. All the bugs have been washed off your hands. Masks have been over your face so you can't touch anything. You know, and on top of it, the oxygen flow, you know, of you breathing in all the toxins into your mask and back into your body, that's not healthy. I'm sorry. I get it that you don't want somebody who's sick to spread it. So I understand if somebody is sick and having symptoms, they should put on a mask. But if you're not, it's not good for you. I mean, my daughter has to go to school and do exercises in the gym, cardiovascular exercises, like Tabatas and running and I don't know, sprints with a mask on. And she's fainting almost, she's getting sick, she's feeling bad. That can't be healthy. I'm sorry. That cannot possibly be boosting your energy. And, I don't think it's going to make a big difference in terms of spreading the germs if your mask is on or off, provided you're not actively coughing and sneezing, right? And then just sneeze into your arm, that kind of thing. And if you're coughing and sneezing, you shouldn't be out there anyways, right? So those are things that I say you really need to do. Sleep well, take vitamins, your B12s, your whole B complex, because that's good for your stress. Your Ds for the sunshine, of course, your omega-3s, that kind of thing. Make sure you eat proper. Don't eat junk food, not when you're stressed out. That's a tendency we all have. We want a lot of sugar and we want a lot of pizzas and stuff, especially when we're stuck at home and don't feel comfortable to go shopping because, you might catch COVID in the shopping center, that kind of thing. Still, if you do go get proper stuff, if you're scared to go to the supermarket, well, then have it ordered and delivered to you, but get proper stuff, although I highly recommend you get out of the house. So then the other one's just get out of the house, spend time in nature, spend time as much time as you can outdoors, and spend time with loved ones, right? And work out. I mean, exercise. Maybe I've repeated it a few times here, but I just don't. The governments are doing the opposite. They're saying, put on a mask, stay indoors, don't go out, wash your hands all day long, right, with chemicals. Don't go to the gym because, hey, you might spread it in the gym. People need to work out. People need to stay fit. People need to have some, kids, little babies, they're eating dirt. They're like literally eating sand and dirt and poopies from other kids and from themselves. and they get through it. That's how they build their immune system, right? And if you don't have that, then how are you going to keep your immune system built up? So also last one is don't spend all day looking at news. And it's right now it's just crazy, and it's going to make you feel so anxious and so upset and so angry at everything. Whether you're a pro-vaxxer or an anti-vaxxer, the news is going to make you go nuts, okay? And the regulations are just, these people don't know what they're dealing with. I don't know. Sometimes I really have to question the logic behind a lot of their decisions. In any case, what they're doing nowadays, places like Australia and Austria and so on, Costa Rica, where they're like trying to force people to take these things, I think that's against human rights. Should never be done, ever, ever, ever. So don't spend time looking at news. Instead, spend time playing games, spend time looking at comedies, making jokes, just, if you want to travel, man, don't stay stuck at home. Just get out there, get back into a normal life. You don't need to wear the mask in the car, for example. I mean, it's just like, how are you going to infect anybody or get COVID by being in the car with a mask on or without it? It's no difference. Anyways, I could keep going on about this, but I think you got the point. My message is really, do some things that are logical, that have been, told for hundreds of years. Eating good food, getting good rest, taking right nutrients, getting good exercise, being with loved ones, and spending time, doing things you love, looking at comedies, laughing. Do these things, and I guarantee you'll feel better, and you'll have a much better chance to manage a potential COVID infection naturally, without having to rely on some chemicals. And if you've already taken the vaccine, well, then you have got, I guess, less to worry about, according to Big Pharma. So then you have even less reason to be holding back and being stuck indoors all day and that kind of thing. And if you're not vaccinated, all I can say is trust your body. Your body has millions of years of dealing with different types of viruses and bugs, and we've always managed to survive through it and become stronger by it. And I think there's nothing that can possibly ever replace natural immunity. I mean, I think we as scientists, I'm quite a scientist myself, we see this much of what's actually happening underneath. And yes, that much can make a big difference, but all that stuff that's happening underneath that your body knows about, that science is just starting to figure out, is there when you get your natural immunity. Okay, so you need to start trusting your own body, in your own life, in your own immune system, in your own system. Yeah, this is just my advice. Obviously, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a practitioner or any of this. Just a normal guy who's trying to help out people reduce their stress. And you can take or drop whatever I've said as you wish. It's all up to you, okay? It's just my own message, my own recommendations. But, if when in doubt, go and see a professional who hopefully knows more about these things, okay? All right, well, take care and stay strong. We'll get through all of this. Everybody will get through this, okay? It's just one of these phases in life. All right, maybe it's a good time to spend some time to get to know yourself a little bit better. There's positive things to this too. All right, catch you later. Take care. Lots of love to everyone. Ciao.